Guten Morgen, hot potters. Once again, we're out and about. We've come for a little walk in the forest where we came last year. We didn't really do much in that area because it's quite uphill. So what we've come to today, we've come to have a look at Adam and Eva, which is two trees that were planted together, supposedly to represent Adam and Eve. Now, there's a bit of a story attached to it. Hopefully when we get up there, I'll be able to tell you a bit more about it, but no doubt it'll all be in German, and my German isn't that very good. One thing that there is there, though, is this lovely big bench, which is a piece of art sculpture. It's in that direction, though, just as I'm pointing to. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera because it's right in the distance. But we'll plod on to it. Hopefully we can remember how to get to it. Normally, my compass goes, woo, and we end up somewhere totally different. But that's the fun of it as Mrs. H rolls her eyes. So, let's go and find this big bench for a big sit-down, shall we? We're off the beaten track a little bit here. We're off-roading, a little bit rough, a little bit wall, a little bit wear. This isn't an official path, it's just obviously a man-made one. So who knows where we're going to end up. We should get to that bench because we're just following this field here and the tree line. So we should get to it in a bit. Come on, onwards and upwards. I don't remember this path being as long, to be honest. One thing I'll give the Germans, they keep the forests and that well maintained. You know, the pathways and that are always walkable and passable, not full of mud or farmers trying to block them off. Now, it's also good not to see the obligatory Foster's can just tossed into the bushes type of thing. Now, one of the reasons for that is they have a deposit system here in Germany where you take your cans and your bottles back and you get money on it, a bit like the 80s in the UK. And it does work, you don't see any litter type of thing. Now, you'll always get the little Lord Fauntleroy, some youngsters can't be bothered taking it back, who'll throw it on the floor, but before the equivalent of the council workers can come and collect them, somebody's picked it up and they'll take it back with their own. We'll show you that system, because at Lidl they have these machines called Pand, or P-Fand as we like to call them, you know, the F silent. Anyway, a bit of useless information for you there, hot potters, as we're walking through the forest. We'll get to that bench eventually. Weather's fantastic today. Really gorgeous day. One of those makes you glad to be alive. Just look at that view over there, through them trees. You can't beat this. Here we are, I'm just getting up to that art sculpture type thing, and well, you'll be able to see in a bit. It's quite impressive. I think the Adam and Eva, or und Eva, trees are just at the back of that bench. Well folks, here we are at that art sculpture. Mr H in the big chair. It's not a bad art sculpture, is it? There's a big bench, and I think the idea is it's just overlooking the Eiffel region. I don't think it has any specific meaning. Certainly there's nothing up around it. Just there's a bit of a sign up there, and it just tells you to be still and enjoy the view. Not bad, is it? Feel a bit like a little school lad here. When you swing your legs on chair. Not done that for a good while. Or I also feel like little Ronnie Corbett. The producer said to me, Ronnie, he said, Ronnie, he always calls me Ronnie, you see. Enough of the bad impressions there. We're going to get on in a bit to Adam and Eva, because I know you're dying to meet them. I'm dying to meet them again. But yeah, the one good thing I'll say about the Germans and their art sculptures, they're looked after. Not only do the local council type of thing look after them, but the people respect them. Back in England, this would have a load of graffiti on it, and somebody would have probably tried making a fire on it by now. But here, they do look after it, and that's a good thing. So I'll get off my soapbox now, and try and get off this bench, and we'll go and meet Adam and Eva. Now another good thing is they've got in the forests here in Germany is these little huts. The idea being a little shelter, and you can just rest your weary legs a little bit. Like so. Now, people have put the names in this and they have vandalised it a little bit, but not too much. I mean, obviously, once again in the UK, this would have been burned down by now, or you know, somebody would have knocked a wall out of it or something, because we're just an angry nation, I think. But once you get in here, Mr. H will step forward and turn round. I mean, just look at that, you can have your picnic in here and just enjoy the scenery. And there's lots of it to enjoy. Right then, let's find these trees, shall we? Well, Hot Potters, say hello to Adam. Now, let's have a little look here, the information it's trying to tell us. Perhaps Kiefer is the type of tree it is, I don't know. That is theirs, 200 yards, so that means it's 200 years old. I should imagine that's the height, 21 metres, and the circumference is 3.25 metres. I'm sure, if anybody knows any different, they'll come and correct me in the comments below. So we'll go and meet the lady of the tree, shall we? Let's go and meet Eva. And Hot Potters, meet the female of the species. Once again, I'm thinking if that's the type of tree that it is, a Kiefer. This one's, again, 200 years old, but it's only 19 metres high, and it's just got a 3 metre circumference. Other than its male counterpart. I mean, is there a male and a female type of tree? I don't know. And if Mrs H will just pan round, it appears they've had a little spruce. Well, this is the information board that gives us the story of Adam and Eva. Unfortunately, Mr H's schoolboy German has failed him on this occasion. I can only pick out the odd words such as Yara, which means year. I think I have got it right though regarding the Kiefer. I think that was the name of the type of trees that they've planted there. I can see it mentions Frederick Wilhelm, I think that's 4th. But unfortunately, I can't tell you much more. Now, had we thought a bit ahead, we could have always downloaded the QR code thingamabob, and it would have told us in English. But then again, that wouldn't have worked because we don't really have a good mobile phone signal out here. So, what's that old saying? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Well, that's what we've done this time. Anyway, we'll do a closing shot on that, and maybe somebody out there who's bored can put it through Google Translate for us and tell us the story. But in the meantime, we're going to get off and we're going to head back to the car down this path now. There's some ice caves at the bottom of here, which we're going to visit another day when we've not got the dogs, because I don't want to take dogs into caves, because like I did when I was at Crank, I don't want to lose the little Jack Russell because they're buggers for bolting down holes and things. One thing you will see when we do do the video on that one, you'll see the difference between crank caverns and these. There's absolutely no graffiti, beer cans or anything. It's lovely. Anyway, we're going to get off now. We're going to get the dogs back to the car and get a drink. So until the next time, bye bye for now. Come on, you two. You've had a rest. A final thought for you, Hot Potters. Just as we've been leaving the Adam and Eva area, we've just looked back towards the bench and we've been discussing if what was the information board from this angle is supposed to make it look like a footrest. What do you guys think? Comments below, please. Right, we're definitely going to get off this time. Come on, girls.